Oh. I am so ear. But the goo must throw. Alright, Myro. Let's do this. Oh, here we go. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Oh. Painting goo goo goo. Painting goo. Ha ha! It's painting goo. Oh. I have the flu. It's painting goo. Oh. Painting goo. Painting goo. Painting goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Oh, so much phlegm. Oh, painting goo goo goo. Have the feckin' flu. It's painting goo. Painting goo. It's painting goo. Painting me, painting you. Painting goo. Painting goo. Painting goo. Oh. Alright, you petrified primate. Let's remind these filthy mortars the meaning of beauty. Oh. Painting goo. 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 Painting goo. Oh. Oh. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting fucking goo. It's painting fucking goo. It's painting goo. Painting goo. I have a duff flu. Painting goo. It's fucking goo. Painting goo. I have a duff flu. Oh, sip sip. Oh. Painting goo. Goo 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 goo. Bring it home, Myro. You marvelous monkey, you. Oh. Painting goo. It's painting goo. I have a duff flu. Oh. If you have any honor, you will pay the monkey. Pay him. He deserves it. Indeed he does. Place a tip in the monkey's bowl. And let everyone know how much honor you have. Greetings, and Iokoso to another glorious episode of Painting Goo with I, your host, Defenderu, demigod of Painting Goo. I have been very ill the past few days, but the goo must flow. So, despite the sniffers and the phlegm cascading through my lungs, I am here to present to you the glory of painting. Please excuse me whilst I descend into proper PEINTEINGU posture. Today's stir is smooth, glorious. It flows smoothly like the phlegm from my nose. Greetings, my beloved Japanites. I hope you are aware, unlike me, I am afflicted with some form of mortar physical ailment. It is pathetic how easily you filthy mortals succumb to sniffers. Such things. Something as simple as a sudden decrease in temperature can murder you. You are weak bags of flesh. But I need you in order to fight my way back into Chinese heaven. To one day reclaim my pedestal as the PEINTEINGU god. And so I can slap that fucking Monkey King in the face. Relegated here into Earthrealm I am, to face the many afflictions of being mortal. My first challenge was to get used to being a bag of flesh. Bye, female! Are you leaving?
Yeah, I'll see you.
Right. Love you. As if learning how to shit wasn't bad enough. Oh, God. Who of you has any honor today? Emmanuel Godsunu, first to. A random painter from Dublin has a more honor than my own Japanites on this fine Monday. How dare you? How dare you bring such shame to the Japanite name? Duegaru, Desmondu, Stabaru. We already knew Stabaru has great shame. He is, after all, Canadian. But Desmondu, you have failed on this fine Monday. You have been beaten by Emmanuel. You have been beaten by a mare with the name of a female. The shame. I claim turd. 30 scallywags. You cannot claim turd. You simply are turd. Desmondu. I had to get my best friend put to sleep today. ... He was such a good boy. Cat? Dog? Was it a feline or a canine? I care not from where the goo froze, but let's stop at it coming from your nose. Agreed. Agreed. If any of my phlegm becomes roded upon the parrot, it shall be a problem. Hello, Margiu, with your pink handle. Riker, sharer, and subscriber if you have any honor. Pay for PEINTEINGU, indeed. Stabaru doing your job again, Garros. You filthy feline. My brother Garros here. This 865-pound tiger that I found in the deep jungle of Colombia. Saved him from a drug lord, I did. His job is supposed to be to remind you to like and subscribe to PEINTEINGU. But he doesn't do it. He just stands there on his fucking bit of spiky wooden shit in this. Look, Myro, forever praised in the piano position, has so much more honor than this crafty feline made me fear empathy, sympathy for him, he did. I felt so bad that I saved him from that horrible drug lord who was feeding him so much cocaine he gained X-ray vision. And now I have a Canadian in the chat that has more honor than Garros. You are a tiger! Despite your X-ray vision affliction, you should be drowning in honor. You are a furry failure, Garros. Cat! You had to put your cat to sleep. 'Tis a sad day in the land of Emmanuel. Please give Levi a final shout-out. Brother Levi, despite being a feline, you had much honor. You kept Emmanuel Godsunu company as he painted his irreverent oil paintings, as he commented on politicians' inability to politician in the form of oil and canvas. Your furry face was indeed a constant source of inspiration and royalty. God bless you, Levi, the cat. Get that box of Kleenex out, cleanse the sinuses. It does not help. It matters not how much Kleenex I use. The phlegm froze. Regardless, it is disgusting. Canadian is unholy affliction that seldom recover from. Indeed. The Canadian affliction is a most gay. Imagine the stress, the shame, the unending humiliation of being Canadian. No wonder Stabaru commits seppuku daily. So sorry, Emmanuel. Indeed. Condolences for your dead kitty. How old was the feline? Condolences for the kitty, and a blessed journey for him, as they traverse the Rainbow Bridge, as the pretty kitty makes his way across the River Styxu. May he have enough coinage to pay the boatman. Blessed be your traverser into the nether realm, Levi, the kitty. Thank you, it means a lot. You're most welcome, Emmanuel. Most welcome. A young kitty. A young kitty. Unfortunate. 7 was obviously unlucky for that kitty. Have you any other kitties? Was this the kitty I was to painting you for you? Hopefully not. Or the painting you could now be a remembrance of Levi, the Psycho Kitty. I have a feeling the Psycho Kitty is another kitty. I can see it in my mind, a fluffy white kitty holding a butcher knife, drenched in blood. Indeed, Psycho Kitty. Did he like the denimu? Oh, no way, it was that cat? Oh, shit. Is that why you requested a painting of your kitty? You knew he was on the way out? Was it an affliction? Or did you just have an argument and decide to put him down? Oh, God. My lungs I have a deep ticker in my lungs. Okay. So, today on Paintingu, if you cannot tell by the title of today's episode, we have a goose to paint. Gary the Goose, in a tactical turtleneck. I'm thinking Sade's, a 9mm pistol, and a tactical turtleneck for Gary the Goose. This shall indeed be a portrait on Paintingu. Do geese count as portrait? I must ask a Google. As I sip on my lemon water, I do fear slightly better. You will be painting Psycho Kitty. Would you like me to paint Psycho Kitty live on stream? I have done that before. I like to make it clear. If that is the choice. If you like it, I can paint the Psycho Kitty live on streamu. But some people prefer me to paint the commissions off streamu, because then I can make them better. Take my timer. They are more skillful, you know. It is the difference between let me see. Okay. So, live Paintingus are cartoonish, hilarious, and quite often childish in their appearance. They have, however, in the past 2 years become much better in definition and resolution. But if you're paying good money for a good painting, then I paint them off stream. This is my personal work. Much better, much more defined, much cleaner. It is up to you. Painting it live can be fun. You know? Oh shit. Painting it live can be fun. Demorishu requested I paint her own rival, and it was quite good. It was a glorious painting. Inspired by Resident Evil. I do love Resident Evil. I can fear your affliction through the interwebs. Ah, indeed. I am quite ill, but not ill enough to stop the goo from flowing. So you stop the goo from flowing for the birthday of the female, but not of your siku? Yes, the female is very important too. If you have a female in your life, I hope she is very important. They are quite important if you have them. If you have one, they are important. If you don't, not so important. If you don't have one, they can often be a distraction if you see them. I have one for 10 years and it's been a distraction. If you know, you know. If you've been with a female for a long time, all they have to do is walk in front of you while you're trying to do something. And the silhouette of your female is enough to distract you from your work. Your mind must be disciplined if you are to have a female. They are an endless source of distractions. For a mayor's top priority is his purpose, his duties. God's will is top priority. Then comes the female. There is a bonus payment for comic originality in the narrative. Ah. So you wish me to create, live on the interwebs, a narrative for your Psycho Kitty. Glorious. I accept this challenge, Emmanuel Gotsunu. So, today shall be Gary the Goose, as a 2 requested last week. But, as per your request, I shall make... yes! Thursday! Every Thursday from now on, until it is complete, we shall paint Emmanuel's Psycho Kitty. In remembrance of Brother Levi, the royal 7-year-old kitty, who died too early. Too early was his work toward the right. Unfortunate, but when God calls you home, it must be for a reason. The kitty died so that it may immortalize him in a PEINTEINGU, perhaps. Silver lining and all that jazz. Pardon me. Maintaining character where ear is extra challenging. Which is why you should pay for PEINTEINGU. Right. Yes, the Coninator was complete. Or has been completed. So. It's glorious. Pictures shall be up on my socials soon of the Coninator. I am not sure what price to charge for this. I probably said 200. But in all honesty, this is quite good. And it took a while. Lot of goo on this one. Lot of rares. Methinks 300 for the Coninator is a fair price. Images shall be up soon. Also, I consulted the female, and she agrees that methinks I should put a black outline on Coninator, like I did with the rabbit and gorilla. Because, right, a moment. Let me know what you think. Defender ass. Okay. Those of you who remember the rabbit... glorious kapu. God. Those of you who remember the rabbit and gorilla painting. Remember how glorious it is. Look at it in all its glory. It is glorious. I love it. It came out quite well. So methinks, perhaps, I should also give that comic effect to Coninator. And then charge $350 for it. Cause it will take a while. At least an hour or two. To nicely define and shape the Coninator. What do you think? I do appreciate the Japanite's opinion on the goo. Are you on Facebook? I am on Facebook. I think if you search Defender Bear, you'll find, I think, Alex Roach. ALEXROCHE. That's what I am on Facebook. I don't know if my Facebook is in the description shit. I'm not sure. I don't have my phone here right now. I'm using the laptop for everything, so I've got like tabs open to fuck. What's this? Somebody commented on my PEINTEINGU that I uploaded to Rumber. It's always the same. It's always some bot being like, I love your content. I do fucking social upgrades. I can get you all the views you deserve and all this shit. Fucking like. One thing I have noticed since my banishment from Chinese heaven and my subsequent relegation to Earthrealm, is that you mortals seem fascinated with deception. This is hilarious to me. The sheer, unparalleled amount of frivolous and irreverent deception is mind-blowing. The internet is a strange place. Indeed, Brack is brilliant. Agreed. Brack is brilliant. Brack is quite often the thing that we need to define things. Oh, God. Right. Knock at the door, my painting has arrived. Oh! Really? Has your painting arrived to Rival on Streamu? Excellent. Hi, the Brack Outline should be included on Kono no Sama. Aye, agreed. I shall, in my spare time, or perhaps on one of the painting Goose, I shall apply the Brack Outline. Because I kind of do that. I kind of do that, Rive. I can take my time and play some metal music and do the Brack Outline on Conan. Conanator. Oh, but today we paint a goose whose name is Gary. Gary the Goose. In his tactical turtleneck. But I need to get some inspiration. There are many different types of geese. So, what kind of goose is Gary? What kind of goose is Gary the Goose? Geese. Images. What's the chances that one of them is going to be a Street Fighter thing? Geese. Will we make him Canadian? I have to say, okay, this one's brilliant looking. Okay, so there's grey goose, then the typical white goose, and then you have the Canadian goose, and then the Canadian geese, they have like the black neck. Canadian geese look like they're wearing a turtleneck already. That is actually hilarious. Like, the Canadian goose looks like it's wearing a turtleneck. That is so funny. I kind of want to make a Canadian, like, you know. Yeah, we should totally just make a Canadian. Because, like, they literally look like they're wearing a fucking turtleneck as it is. Like, that's actually hilarious. Canadian geese look like they're wearing a fucking turtleneck. Get it out, you. I kind of do that. Sounded Jamaican. Japanese to Jamaican to West Cork. I tell you what I believe. Shit happens. Oh, fuck. It was that's like one of my favorite Rastafari characters is the, what's his fucking name? King Willie. King Willie in Predator 2, when Danny Glover's character is like investigating the Predator killings and like figuring out that it's like some kind of like alien thing killing everyone and all, like, and he has to go ask King Willie, and King Willie's like this Rastafarian crime lord soothsayer type where he's like a witch doctor kind of thing, like, and he's all like, you know, into like, you know, reading. He'd have like a lot of bones in a bag and he'd like spread them out on a fucking, I think he does that in the alleyway scene where the Predator kills him, like. It's fucking that's the type of Rastafarian shit that I think is like really cool as far as like character stuff. King Willie, like it's just fucking. We need that shit needs to come back. You know, the accurate stereotypes. You know, like the Chinese guy with the goofy teeth and the fucking rice hat, like, ha, hello, welcome to my store. Like, it's a fried rice, you prick. Like, Uncle Benny. Oh, it was Uncle Benny out of Lethal Weapon 3. With Jet Li was in it, like, oh, Uncle Benny. Yeah. It's fried rice, you prick. In Sausage Party, the girl bun tries a Jamaican accent and ends up with West Cork. Fucking funny. Sausage Party is a mad movie. Like there are parts of it that are quite funny, but like, what a mental film. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's so when I go back and think of like other like some of the old movies that I used to really enjoy, like some of them hold up, some of them don't. And it's not just because the actors turned out to be freaks. Like, Seth Rogen's a lunatic. Like, he's, like, you know, all into fucking, like, anti-Semitism is, like, a real thing and all. Like, you know, it's fucking... The whole Jew stuff is hilarious, like. You know. It's like... The whole... You can't say nigger. You can't say, you know, that Jews are whatever. Like, you can't, like, point... Basically, you can't point out reality. You know, those are the unwritten rules of the current woke infected paradigm. Is you cannot speak blatant obvious truths lest you offend someone. Well, why is offending people so bad? You know, that's why I love that. Was it fucking I've shouted him out before. Was it Steve Hughes? I think it was Steve Hughes is his name, the Australian guy. Nothing happens when you get offended. Nobody's ever gotten offended and then woken up with cancer. Like, you know, it's like, it's so funny, like, how weak we have become as a society to let that happen, you know? Like, oh, I can't hear such things, like, do you know what I mean? If Hermione Granger had it figured out in fucking Harry Potter, you know, then that tells you something. Canadian geese are always adorned in their battle dress when they begin to fry their bombing missions over New England. A Canadian goose, Gary Sharby. I was thinking that I'll do them with, like, you know, I'll do the whole Walther PP9 with the silencer, and then give him like real slick looking shades, and then shit like that, like, you know, give him a really nice looking watch or something, and just do the feathers in the hand positions. He knows too much. Kill the fucker. Johnny Depp is hilarious. Yeah, I like Johnny Depp. Like, despite all the shit, like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's a few of them that like it's the honest degenerates that I have respect for. Like Johnny Depp, Charlie Sheen, like, I was banging 7-gram rocks and finishing them. Like, I got tiger blood running through my veins, baby. Like James Brown, like, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I put my feet all over Eddie's couch. Like, cocaine's a hell of a drug. Like, people appreciate honesty no matter the content of the honesty. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. If you turn around and say something along the lines of, like, you know, yeah, I murdered and raped all those children. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, holy fuck. But there's, like, there's so much more respect and kudos and leeway given to people who, like, do stuff that society deems, like, you know, not good, like doing drugs and breaking certain laws and all. Like, everybody knows that, like, most celebrities are and there's multiple forms of celebrities. Celebrities aren't just actors. Celebrities are famous individuals. So there's loads of people who are famous for different shit, right? But the correlation with most celebrities or famous people is like a lot of them like do like underhanded, seedy, dirty shit in the background, and then it ends up in the papers, or like, you know, it's like fame is almost directly correlated with some crime, like whether it be like, you know, oh, I have a weed guy, you know, or like I have a cocaine guy, or like, and quite often it's their fucking managers or their agents. Do you know, like that's how you can. It's one of the things that makes it very easy to argue that that whole apparatus is controlled by like some kind of like communist secret agency shit, because they have handlers, people who like enable their drugs and like enable their insane behavior, and like send them to a therapist who will prescribe them fucking antipsychotic drugs and all this shit, like, because that's how they control them. It's fascinating. It's like fucking fascinating to see how it all actually works. And the more you look into how things actually work in reality, you know, like the difference between watching a movie that has lots of fight scenes and martial arts in it, and then thinking, oh my god, it looks so real, and then watching a real fight. And even when we say real fight, the closest thing we can get to a real fight on mainstream is something like UFC, right? But that's still not a real fight. You want to see a real fight, then you have to go to kind of like, you know, like unrestricted and dark parts, slightly darker parts of the internet. Like, first thing that comes to mind is like Live League. I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. But like World Star was a thing, and that was on like, what was it, TikTok for a while? No, what was it on? Was it on YouTube? I used to watch World Star on YouTube. And like, then you actually get to see like just two people like fighting in the street, and the second you see, like, the first time you see somebody's like, you know, lights go out and they fall and their head slaps off concrete, like, even if you don't see it firsthand in real life, which I have, like, I have seen people get like fucked up in front of me, like, but you don't necessarily need to see that stuff in real life firsthand. You could just see it on a camera, and it has pretty much the same effect. It's not going to be as potent, won't hit your nervous system as much, but like, it's fairly accurate as far as like a representation of that level of trauma or intensity. And like, so on the one hand, they'll say it's immoral and illegal and all this shit to watch two guys actually fight. So there's all these safety protocols, but then they make a load of money off it, and then there's gambling involved. So there's like, you don't need to look into any facet of modern society very deep. You can look at just a surface level, and you can see the blatant hypocrisy, the immorality, and the fucking utter apathy and just wanton avarice that is just there. That if anyone talks about it is like blacklisted and like, fucking, you know, like everything from conspiracy theorist to like how funny is in the last couple of years that the fact that this actually existed, that there was a movement, and still exists to this day, it's just you don't hear it that much, but a few years ago it was quite prominent on the internet, where it's like, you're not allowed slut shame and you're not allowed fat shame. How funny is that actually became a reality, that people were actually adhering to the idea that if someone is overweight, that you cannot address that fact. Like, being overweight is unhealthy. Fact. You know? Like, there's no room, there's no wiggle room if you're actually honest about certain things. That's why fighting is so captivating, because that nigga got knocked the fuck out. He is unconscious. He is snoring. He is not. He hit him. He is now snoring. You cannot argue with that. That is just, that's what happened, black and white. And you still get people arguing about it. People will lose a fight. Professionals will lose a fight and be like, oh, the fucking stage lights got in my eyes. You know, oh, I broke my toe 2 weeks before the fight, so my balance is a bit off, or like, you know, fucking anything. Oh, he punked me in the eye. Like, like, I've recently become even more aware. Like in the past, year or so, I've become like even more aware of to what level your average person is like genuinely infantilized and retarded. Like they're like children. Like they're so fucking egotistical and stupid and ignorant and like complete lack of self-awareness. And it's like, and then there's like so many of them. There's so many different types of them. You have all these names, you know, like fucking gripers and fucking like even that's one of those words where you say it, you're like, eh. Like flat earthers and globe earthers and fucking like leftists and right wingers and far right and all this fucking shit. Like, oh god, it's so funny. Like all you like, it's like listening to a bunch of kids in a playground make up, you know, like, well, I'm a super Megatron, you know, flaming arc demon. Yeah, well, like, I'm a shadow ninja tiger dude. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's the same with the fucking trans stuff. It's like, well, I'm non-binary, so like, you're grey, you're like, you're middle, you're vague, you're undefined, you're like, like, I'm neither 0 or a 1. I'm neither male nor female. Yeah, in your mind. Like, people like that are immediately letting everyone know in their vicinity that they are detached from reality to at least a certain degree. Or they're willingly lying. Like, you're using your free will to lie to people in your vicinity. I'm an attack helicopter. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'll never forget that one. It's like one of the funniest ones ever. Like, I identify as an attack helicopter. That's like, well, if you get, what was it? Was the Pierce Morgan one was hilarious. It's like, if you guys get to identify as like pansexual, then why can't I identify as like a penguin? Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, well, that's insulting. You know, it's like, what the fuck? The gaslighting and the blatant the blatant stupidity, like I'm trying to look for a word that's like moronic, retarded, no, like imbecilic, like imbeciles. Like, the only thing that I can like find in my vocabulary that feels right to me to describe most people these days are amoebas. Like. And I think it's funny because you had all these fucking leftists claiming that abortion is okay because sure, it's just a clump of cells. What matters? Like, can you really kill a clump of cells? Is it killing? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, well, ask the vegans if it's killing when I pull a carrot out of the ground. Like, it's like the fucking the level of imbecile. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just so fucking stupid. Like, it's so, and when it's intentional, it's even worse. It's so bad now, like. But the reason I find it funny is because it's failing. Like, I don't get annoyed or angry at it anymore. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, sometimes I still get a bit of like, oh my god, why won't all these fuckers just die? Like, you know, like, you just want to read in the newspaper. It's like, everybody who's been talking all that woke shit for the past couple of years has all of a sudden just died of AIDS. What do you know? Like, you know what I mean? With all the tragic shit that happens on the daily, planes crash, innocent people die all the time, earthquakes, fucking plagues, pestilence, famine, war, all this like bad shit that happens all the time. And you're telling me that like all these people who actively make all of our lives worse can't just like happen to all like, you know, spontaneously combust in and around a 30-second window around the realm. Like, you know,
It'd be so satisfying. People be sitting in their homes, like, you know, in their sitting room talking to their fucking, like, family members and just being like, oh god, I hate it when you bring up all that leftist shit, like, do you know what I mean? Yeah, well, like, yeah, but you have to accept me for what I am, daddy. I'm a pansexual fucking fantastical beast. And then just like, ah! Ah! Like, whoa, holy fuck. Like that bitch who fucking was like, I've had all the jabs and I've had all the boosters. Clearly, Jesus loves me the most. And then she passes out and smashes the back of her head off the stage. You just want one of these fucking, like, you know, like a whole pride. Like, could you imagine if a whole pride parade, like, if they just, like, evaporated into dust and blew away with the wind just in a single moment, and everybody was just left standing there, like everybody that was like at the barriers watching it being like, oh, this is so cool, you know, liberalism and freedom of speech, and like, you go girl, yeah, you be whatever you want to. Foam. Oh. Like that shit at War of the Worlds where like people come back with like people's dust particles all over them, like traumatized, and like, what happened to you? The gays, they're all just gone. like ah, thank fuck. Like, oh god. Okay, there's my rant for today. My nephew has a large goose. He got it to keep the foxes from killing his chickens. That is hilarious. I love shit like that. I love like factual shit from farms because it's so funny to me when you see what, like, when nature reminds you of reality. Like, I seen this clip on Instagram there last week or over the weekend where it was part of a compilation of like farm clips, and one of them was this guy who was like running from one end of the farm to the other, and he hops over this fence and like opens a gate and walks into this like pen, and there's a donkey with a goat in its mouth. Like, you know when a mother dog picks up a puppy. You ever see a lioness pick up its cub? Like, you know, they pick them up around the neck, the nape of the neck with the extra skin, like, you know. Imagine a donkey picking up a goat like that, but it was like, it wasn't around the neck, it was like the midriff. It was like the thing was like biting its back. And the donkey was just like running around the pen with a fully grown goat in its mouth. I had never seen anything like this. And apparently that's the thing. Or like, people keep donkeys because like they do stuff like that. They like defend other animals and they'll like keep order and shit, like. So a lot of people have been, oh yeah, I've seen donkeys do this to, like, you know, sheep, goats, fucking dogs, like. And like, one of my friends, one of the bears, I think it was Whip Bear. I think it was Whip Bear turned around to me and he was like, oh yeah, I've seen, like, I heard, like, one of my friends, I think he said one of his friends had a donkey that, like, used to kick the shit out of, like, goats and dogs and shit. Like, anything they'd keep in the pen with it, it was just, like, fucking, like, oh, just like, drop kicking things and biting things now, like. It's my pen, bitch! Like, I didn't think donkeys were, like, violent. Do you know what I mean? And that's what he was saying, is like, they look pure like dopey and like cute and all, but they're like, don't fuck with donkeys, like. And I was like, how funny would it be? Somebody needs to make a TV show or like a cartoon, right? And it's about like this donkey that's like a fucking it's just violent, you know, vigilante, like vigilante justice on a farm, and the donkey's the one dealing it out, and just call it bad ass. Oh, that's the shit that makes me laugh. Ah! It tries to bite everybody on the butt. But it doesn't do it to me because I turned around and pointed my finger at it and said, you're not fighting my butt. And this goose knows it's so biting my butt. That's hilarious. Man, typos can be so funny. You're not fighting my butt. Yeah, like there used to be swans on a canal where I used to like walk sometimes back in the day, and like the way they hiss at you and shit, like swans get pretty big, like, you know, bigger than geese. I don't know if Canadian geese get as big as like a European swan or something, like, but like swans can be big fuckers, like. And I remember like there was one just came up behind us. We were just walking along the canal, and one came up behind us and was like, and like flapping its wings and all. And I like fucking like, what's the term? I had a standoff with the thing. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I like got up in its face and was like, "What? What are you gonna do?" Like, and was like threatening to kick it. Like, do you know what it was like? I was like, what you call it? Like, fuck it. I was like throwing feints, like, and it did. It like backed up and all. Like, do you know, it's hilarious how like even like lions and bears will do that sometimes, and wolves and shit. Is when like when you start making a loud of noise and get real big and like you meet violence with violence, instead of being like, oh no, and running and like they just chase you. They'll stop. Like I've seen rhinos do it. Right, like they'll stop and they'll like, it's like there's an imaginary line, you know, that they create for themselves where like, okay, I'm within threat distance now. And they like, it's all like, you know, puffing up and bravado and like, you know, that alpha energy threat shit. And if you can like, if you can give off the right kind of energy, like you can have a standoff with like pretty much anything. I've seen like videos of people doing it to elephants and rhinos and shit. Obviously, I'm not recommending it for anyone to just be like, "Oh no way, you can do that to it." No, like you'll more than likely get your ass handed to you. But like it is possible. Do you know what I mean? Like if you know what you're doing and you have confidence in your ability, and you know why the animal is doing that. Do you know what I mean? Like there'd be different circumstances where like if an African bull elephant is like, you know, there's like a frenzy that the males get into in mating season or some shit like that, where they just go fucking ape shit and are really aggressive towards everything. So like something trying to employ that tactic in that context or that scenario would more than likely all of the like 100% of the time fail miserably and backfire. But it's like there's moments where like, you know, animal behavior is a bluff. You know, because quite like most of the time the animal has enough of a self-awareness where it's like, I don't want to fight because I might get hurt, especially predators, which is funny. Predators actually have much more of a chance of puffing up and then not wanting to engage because they don't want to get hurt, because it'll lower their chances of a successful hunt. And that's why you see herbivores are like much more confident and much more being okay with being hurt, because there's more of them, they're in a herd, and typically they're either bigger or around the same size as the predator. Obviously there's like exceptions to that where it's like, you know, there's a gazelle is not the same weight class as a lion, so that's why they fucking outrun them. Do you know what I mean? It's one of the things I find so fascinating about nature is like there's literally like it's like nature was like a problem solving thing for God or whatever. Like, you know, it's like, okay, I'll make this animal. Okay, now that I've made this animal and this animal does this and interacts with all the shit in its environment, it would stand to reason that he would have to make something and then wait a while and then make something else. Because you would have to see how your new creation interacts with the rest of what you've already created. And then once you do that, you're like, oh, okay, so it fits like a jigsaw piece in a puzzle. And then you can then go, all right, well, if that does this, then I'll make another thing that does this. You know, flies eat shit, maggots eat dead flesh. Like there's there's literally, it's not just a circle of life. It's like it's a clock. The whole thing is this synchronistic machine, and that's why it's like if you introduce or take out one element of an ecosystem, it can completely fuck it up. Like, it's fascinating shit. Like, honesty is good, but we didn't need to know Amber Heard took a shit in Chinese bed. That's very true. That's very true. Like, some of this, even some of the things people have said on this stream, like in my chat, like something like some people would be like, oh, blah blah. Like, you even said some shit where I was like, oh, TMI. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, but you do run that risk. I've said shit like that before, where like you're around friends and like you've known them for years, so you're just like totally open and honest with what you're thinking in the moment or whatever, like that. Like, do you know what I mean? And like, I am that kind of person where I've said tons of shit because I'm like autistically honest, where people are like, dude, what the fuck? Like, and I'm like, but it's the truth. And they're like, yeah, but still. Like, I just find it hilarious. That's why I love truth so much. That's why I love the truth so much. Like, like if I was to describe my definition of, a divine state of existence, would be like, just the truth is known to like pretty much everyone. Like, ignorance wouldn't be a thing. Now that would be a weird, almost like hive mind state of being, in a sense. Because if everybody was ignorant to nothing and they knew everything or were aware of everything, so the truth of the matter was known to everyone at all times in any situation, that'd be an odd experience. Like, like, it would kind of be like a hive mind, I think. Like people would still have free will and stuff, but like what would you do? Like, if everything was known, what would you do? Like, I don't know. Like, I personally, I'd do loads of stuff. I'd make things, which is, I think, a good argument for the whole fucking the Little Season shit, or that Jesus was already here for 1,000 years, and that's why you have all of this amazing architecture that people dig up where they're like, how the hell did they build that? And it's so accurate and all this stuff. It's like, if you lived in a divine state with an utter lack of ignorance, then would you not just spend most of your time like emulating God as best you could and creating like the most beautiful shit that you could and doing the most incredible and beautiful things that you could and like making the most incredible and beautiful children that you could, and like it would just like pretty much every moment of existence would just be like a striving towards perfection. Doesn't sound so bad, like, actually, scratch that. We did need to know. Sorry. I don't know. Well, like, yeah, it's not like we got shown pictures. Like, do you know what I mean? Well, I didn't see anything. There probably was photos. I'd fucking like crime scene photos of a shit on a bed. Like, oh god. But like, yeah, it is like, when it comes to most things, I would rather know. It's getting a bit dark in here now. When it comes to most things, I would rather know. Unless it's like something that, like, you don't want to ruin the surprise. Because some things you don't want to know until it happens. You want to know in the moment, kind of thing. Like, but Emmanuel, her dog stepped on a bee. You need to feel bad for her. Oh man, the memes were hilarious. My nickname is 90 degrees. I'm leaning so far right, I'm almost horizontal. My nickname is 90 degrees. This is what we deserve for not bullying the theater kids hard enough. Now they run everything, and and they're insufferable. But like, I was only thinking this. Was it yes? I think it was earlier on today. I was making coffee or something. I might have thought of it yesterday. I'm not sure. But I was thinking, like, you know, why in a on a cosmological meta, like, you know, supernatural god level, why has this been allowed to happen? Why are things like this allowed to happen? You know, because like it's not like, you know, you could easily look at loads of different times in our supposed alleged history, and you could fucking pick any, like, there's loads of moments where you would rather be alive now than then, because of the horror that people were going through. Like, we don't have to worry about, like, you know, a group of bandits like sacking your village, like, literally out of nowhere with no warning. You know, that was totally a thing that used to happen in the past. Like that, like that's where you get stories like fucking Conan and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, dude's village just gets decimated by a roaming band of mercenaries or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? And they take them to fight in the pits and stuff. Like, the reality too. The truth of reality is that humans as a species are, because we have free will and because we have choice, and that, like, you know, higher awareness and intellect than a lot of the creatures in our surroundings, we have such a potential to be these, like, utterly horrific creatures, or we have potential to be these, like, really amazingly creative, benevolent, caretaking creatures. Like, do you know what I mean? Because it's like it's the same thing all the time. It's like, on the one hand, you got the people who are salt of the earth, really good people, and without them, the people around them would be fucked. And then you've got the people who, like, malevolently and intentionally fuck up the people around them. So, like, it's a fascinating situation where you have creatures that can get to a level of awareness where they can choose to have a negative impact on their environment. Because, like, animals don't do that. Do you know what I mean? Like animals exist in a state of harmony with their environment. You know, like fucking Agent Smith talking about humans in the Matrix, where he's like, every other animal in the animal kingdom attains a natural equilibrium with its environment. They don't eat too much, they don't drink too much. In other words, they don't consume more than they need, and they don't produce an excess of waste in such a way that it negatively impacts anything. Now, I'm sure you could find that there's always an exception to every rule. So I'm sure you could find a creature in the animal kingdom that actually causes problems, you know? And I'd say a lot of them are, like, you know, small stuff, like pathogens, fucking parasites, all sorts of things. But I'm sure there's some big shit. But typically, that's what happens. Whereas with humans, it's like, oh, we're so smart. We can, like, make tools and shit, you know? And then it very quickly becomes, like, the difference between a hammer and a chisel can create a long-lasting representation of beauty, accuracy, like, you know, creation itself. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can emulate the equations and fractal truths of creation, of life itself, in a statue or a building or like anything, like a painting. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and on the other hand, you could use the same hammer and chisel to murder your neighbor. You know, so, like, the fact that we have free will has granted us an ever-present shit test of ourselves, in a sense, where, like, every time a new invention comes around, there's loads of bad shit that happens and there's loads of good shit that happens, like the internet, guns, fucking steel weapons, like metal weapons. The difference between like a wooden club and a sword, like it's like one guy with sufficient training and a sword could quite easily kill 10 men who were only equipped with the clubs or sticks. Like the disparity with that technology brings is crazy. Like look at that movie, The Gods Must Be Crazy. The fact that right now we are alive in a time where right now you could find people who have no fucking clue what the internet is, what a phone is, what a computer is, what plumbing is, like fuck it, like all they know is their environment. All they know is like, I can sharpen this stick and put this goo on it and put it in the bow and fling it at this deer, and a few minutes later the deer is gonna like pass out, and then I can pick up the deer and eat it or whatever. Like they've figured out their environment to the point where they can survive in it. But other than that, they're just that, and we call that primitive, and that's crazy to me, to be quite honest. Like, because like if you have superior technology but your behavior is so degenerate, does that not make you primitive? The fact that you're using, like, you have an advantage, but you're behaving less than the bushman. Like the bushman with like 10 kids, and like he's got his like father and his grandfather still alive. Like dudes that are like 80, 90 years of age, and they live in one of the harshest fucking regions on the planet. And we got fucking modern people living in cities having kids that die of diseases before they're 10. Like, I've always found that so crazy, where it's like, is it not obvious to most people that the way we're living is the thing that's fucking us up? All these fucking children dying of all these fucking weird diseases. You've got all these fucking, arguments over whether or not technology, like, vaccinations is a good thing or a bad thing. Like, Iron Man Baru, welcome to PEINTEINGU. You have all these, like, arguments over, like, is this good? Is this bad? But just use your eyes and your ears and just be honest with yourself. Look at what happens. Like, the government and stuff like NASA and HARP and all will like openly tell you that, like, oh yeah, we do like some crazy shit with some crazy tech. But people would be like, oh, you think the government's manipulating the weather? And it's like, but they openly say that technology exists. And they openly, like, there's TV shows about like that clip with Jeremy Clarkson who's like, NASA's creating its own weather. That's amazing. Like, it's like, it's right there for you to see. And that's what, like, I agree with Owen in that it's like, because it's a choice, that's how it works. If you use your free will to behave in a certain manner, and especially if the way you behave isn't congruent with the way you present yourself, i.e. you're lying about something, your integrity, your spirit's integrity, or your soul's continuity and integrity isn't 100%. You're lying about something in your life, or like people don't know the real you, or like something, like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's what causes a human being to behave in a dishonorable way and to fracture, is because they either can't be honest with themselves or they don't want to. Because that's a serious moral dilemma. Is like, how do you deal with people who are just stupid and ignorant, and they're not actually evil? They're just idiots. That you create a government. You feed them slop. You feed them fluoride. Make them even dumber. Like they behave like animals. Treat them like animals. Makes sense. It's a bit cold, but like so is reality. But the evil ones, like, that's why you have stuff like fucking the FBI and the CIA. It's like, in order to really catch the really fucked up ones. And then there's all this like legal shit, jurisdiction and stuff. Like, the bureaucracy is bullshit in my opinion, but it makes sense why the bureaucracy exists. Because if we all have free will and we can all choose to behave in whatever way we want to, we desire to choose to behave, then how can you really make an argument that any individual person has the authority to judge another person and stuff like that? Like, if we're all just like autonomous and shit, and we all just made up these religions and made up these rules and so on and so forth, like, but then half of us are like, oh no, it all comes from God. It's like, all right, well, prove it. You know, like, it's this insanely fascinating system to exist in, where you have awareness, but only to a degree, based on like your desire for it. Like, do you know what I mean? Your desire for truth, your desire for continuity or integrity, your desire for like the real and not the fake. It's a fascinating problem to have, and to try, and it is incredibly challenging, because you have these people who are really good at faking shit, whether it be with their words or visuals or something they make or whatever. You know, like a big one, Hollywood, but like not just Hollywood, just people in general. People are now very good at deceiving each other. And that's an incredibly fascinating paradigm to be in, where like a lot of people are intentionally and actively deceiving the people around them for whatever reason. You know, financially, spiritually, like, do you know what I mean? Whatever, I don't care about the reason, really. It's just the fact that they're doing it. Like, I don't think there's an excuse you could give me that would justify or rationalize negatively affecting the people around you. Unless you want to go the kind of psycho route where it's like, I'm getting the wheat from the chaff. You know, I'm going to stress out and I'm going to fuck with and I'm going to traumatize these people as much as I can over a long period of time in order to produce some really, like, you know, some really like capable, competent people, but the rest are all gonna like suffer horribly. That to me is playing God, and like in a really fucked up way. And in a sense, I think that's what could have been going on the last while with like governments and like hidden agendas and all this shit. Is like they might very well have some kind of psychotic rationalization behind all this of like, well, if we didn't make your environment a fucking utter hellscape, then how else would you figure out the truth? Like, kind of thing. Like, I can see that argument, kind of, but, like, it's still psychotic. It's void of humanity, in my opinion. Like, what really makes us human is the fact that most of us choose to be good to each other. Like, innately. Like, that seems to be an innate property of humans, is that most people just... We're like monkeys in that sense. We are very social creatures. We like getting along with each other. We like big groups, having lots of fun together. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's like a natural thing. And if anything, I think that has been perverted and inverted and used against us. Now, I know people are always going to make the argument, like, is it being done to us? Or have we done it to ourselves? And I'm pretty sure it's both. I think there's some of us actively try and create those negative realities, and a lot of people get roped up into that. And then at the same time, the people who get roped into that aren't necessarily victims because they've chosen to do it. But like that's where I get, it's like awareness is the problem. Like, your level of ignorance is the problem. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, can you really judge someone? Can you really bring down the book and the hammer on someone who didn't know? Who genuinely believed the bullshit? You know? And I don't think that's the same as like, oh, I was just doing my job. Because quite often the people who say, oh, I was just doing what I was told, or I was just doing my job, they actually don't give a fuck, and deep down they know what they were doing was fucking wrong. But the ones who like get traumatized in the moment of realization and like who kind of like have a meltdown. And I didn't know, I swear to God, I did. Like, you know, they have a bit of an emotional meltdown. Those ones I actually have empathy for, because the realization of their own ignorance is traumatic to them. That to me tells me they're human. But the ones who are like, well, I was just doing my job. You can tell that they're like, that they've accepted, you know, yeah, I know it's bad, but I needed the money. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's fucked up. That's why it's going to be really interesting over the next few, like, 5, 10, 15 years. Because all of this shit's already starting to collapse. The LGBTQ fucking whatever is pretty much over. You know, most people now are like, that's fucking disgusting. Get it away from the children. Get it out of the schools. Like, you can be gay. Like, you can be gay over there all you want, but leave us the fuck alone. Get it out of my games. Get it out of my movies. Get it out of my fucking songs. Like, fuck off, basically. You know? But there is a chance that that is going to make them more vicious. Because they have that, they seem to have that psychotic, inverted, brainwashed response of like, the fact that you won't accept me for who I am means you're evil and you need to go. Like, it's quite obvious that the leftists are like much more like, I know it's a vague term, but like these woke gay types, like, they're sick in the head for the most part, because they're emotionally unstable. They're typically like, they're pathological. They're not logical. They're pathological. Like, it is starting to diverge into the point where, like, there used to be, like, you would have the left and the right, and on both sides there was rational people, and then some extremists or whatever. But now it's like the right and the left have become so polarized that the only people, like the people on the right are like logic, and the people on the left are like pathological. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, I see, like I've said it before about like the fucking Judge Dredd megacities, and then outside that is like farming communities. It's ripping itself apart because the two can't coexist without killing each other. So they're gonna polarize to the point where they'll either, one will consume the other, or one's going to inevitably, like, I hope that people are wise enough to just pull away and do what the bears are doing, where it's like, we don't have to engage, we're going to disengage, and we're going to build our own shit. That's why I love being a bear. That's why I love the bear community, because that's the message, is like, do not rely, not just do not comply, but it's like, if you do not rely on these systems, if you don't depend on these systems, and you make your own shit, and you become anti-fragile, and you educate yourself, and you know, like, become physically powerful, mentally powerful, spiritually powerful, then you don't need what that system provides, and then it, for the most part, just leaves you alone. Like, their job is to handle the desperate, you know? But like, I hope most people begin adhering to that mindset where it's like, okay, we're just going to detach and do our own thing. But what might happen is these fuckers get so vicious and crazy that somebody pulls another Hitler, where it's like, we'll all get, well, not all of us, but a lot of us on the side of logic will be brainwashed by someone who is so good at rationalizing genocide, like the, you know, they'll make it out like the only way we get out of this mess is by killing all the woke gay people, which obviously isn't true. You know, like, that's not a viable option. But there will be people that try and convince you of that, because the woke gay horde will get so unbearably fucked up, and so ironically oppressive, because that's what they do now. They they use their victim status and they gaslight people who are good but weak, so that they can get into positions where they can make decisions and stuff like this whole communist like infiltration and subversion fucking. It's dirty. It's a snake like it's like a parasitic way for a human being to exist, is to worm your way into an area full of people that you completely disagree with, but you do it in order to like, bring it down from the inside out, or change it to your fucking like a fucking like some kind of nanotech virus, like, a Borg, like they just like assimilate and consume and change, and everything becomes grey and the same and all. Like, it's crazy. So they could get to a point where, like, that's what I was saying with the American election. I think it'd be really funny if they made it out that Kamala Harris won. Or no, I think it'd be really funny if they made it out like Trump won, but then in the space of 24 or 48 hours, they were just like, oh no, it turns out Harris won, and just like forced it. Like, it's through some kind of legal bullshit thing, and then Trump was like, oh, they did it again, they cheated and all. Like, there'd be a lot of dudes with guns who would be like, right, fuck it, I've had enough of this shit. Because you can see that's what they were trying to do with January 6th, in my opinion. That's what they were trying to do. They were trying so hard to get people riled up enough to, like, do something. Because they want you to do something. They're leaving their chin out so that you will swing. So that the second you swing, they can pull and counter. Like, that's what's happening the last few years with the woke gay horde agenda shit. The globo homo fucking psycho bullshit. Is they're making it so fucked up that they're goading you into, like, burning buildings down, shooting, pedophiles who, like, it's blatantly apparent that this guy's doing some fucked up shit, but he hasn't been convicted, or, like, do you know what I mean? Like, they're trying to prime vigilante justice. You can feel it, because, like, there's so many fathers and mothers and, like, normal people out there who, like, don't want their kids fucked with in the schools, and don't want their kids' futures fucked up with in the colleges, and, like, are putting up with bullshit at work, like the whole COVID thing that happened. Like, if you don't do this, we'll have to let you go. And all. Like, you're fucking with people's lives on every single, like, level. Your finances, your day-to-day jobs, your radio stations, TV. It's fucking infected everything. So it's constantly agitating people, and it's constantly pissing people off, and constantly, like, obviously you get to the stage with people like us where typically it just makes you laugh. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I still get a bit annoyed, but, like, typically it just makes me laugh now, which is the place to be. You want to be in the place where the demon makes you laugh. You don't fear it, and it can't make you angry, because then it has no control over you, it has no influence, because that's all the devil can do, is influence you and tempt you, and can't actually make you do anything. And that's what's going on, is this, like, for lack of a better term, demonic energy that's been going around the West for the past, like, ballpark 20 years. It's goading you. It's tempting you. It's, like, it's mocking you with its fucking gaslighting and its rhetoric, and it's fucking, like, it's totally, like, void of logic bullshit. So it's going to be real interesting to see what actually happens. If, like, a large group of people go, right, this is it, I've had enough, and they just start shooting people, like. But I hope that doesn't happen, because if that does happen, and, like, I'll see it on the news or something, for me that will be a sign where I'm like, oh, here we go, things will just get worse. The better thing to do is be like a bear. Be like the bears. Just do shit, make shit, shame the demonic energy with your creation, with your jokes, with your mockery of them. Do you know what I mean? Like, create something beautiful. whether it's a song or like anything. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a surge, a growing surge of.
Drink the fucking coffee that I made you.
Excuse me, female.
Yeah.
Give it to me.
It's freezing cold now.
Yeah, I don't care. Give it to me.
No.
If you're gonna fucking bitch it, no. If you're gonna bitch, then give me the fucking coffee, or make me a new one.
No.
Don't just fucking bitch. What did the doctor say anyway?
I'm very sick.
You're very sick.
Well, no. When I walked in, I didn't mean to, but I coughed straight away, and he just was like,
Oh.
"Oh."
Yeah.
Because I said I have a bit of a cough,
Yeah.
and then I coughed, and he was like,
Oh.
"Oh yeah."
You're very sick. Yeah.
Some cough.
Maybe I should have gone with you.
So he said it's very wheezy. My left lung is worse than my right one.
Now that you mention it, feels like that for me as well. Yeah. Feels like my left side is like more raw.
Yeah. I think he's putting everyone on steroids.
He's putting everyone on steroids.
Oh, everyone's on steroids at the moment.
Is that what he gave you? Steroids?
Steroids. Yeah. Cough bottle, steroids, and antibiotic.
That's hilarious.
Everyone's on steroids at the
Everyone's on
moment.
steroids.
Even the girl that came in after me and just said, he's put me on steroids. And I was like, we're all on steroids.
We're all on fucking roids.
Jesus. I don't think I've ever had to take steroids before.
I don't know, what, is he Indian? Is he foreign?
What is that got to do with anything?
Yeah, he is, isn't he?
What
You're
does
like
that have
smiling
to
at me.
do
Why don't you
with
just answer the
anything?
question?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Indian.
So?
Right. He's just handing out steroids like
Why is that just handing it out?
fucking foreign doctors putting everyone on steroids.
5 days of steroids. He's a nice man.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like, he's a nice man, you know, giving me steroids. Oh fuck. Ugh.
Like, he's actually very lovely to you. Like, do you know?
On a personal level.
He's nice. Like, he's a nice man. Like, there's a lot of doctors you go into and you feel like they're not even giving you the time of fucking day and they're pure rude to you.
Yeah.
He's never rude.
Donkeys are always busy donking. Oh, how dare you.
People come to
But they do make you better. What, steroids?
yeah, roids.
Just fucking, I have a bit of a cough. Fucking roids. Like, true believers are more sympathetic characters. You could argue that. You rude bitch.
Haven't taken my roids. You rude bitch.
Yeah, apparently our voice is real deep right now.
Whose voice?
Your voice.
My voice.
Yeah. You could argue that they are neither truly bad or truly good because their actions are justified by their deep belief in the reality they are given. Yeah, like, I mean, the whole forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. But that's what it, like, that's doesn't it say in the Bible as well, is like, you're worse if you know and still do it. You're like, your ignorance is ignorance is like a saving grace. Like, people, I've fallen victim to that thought as well. It's like,
Do you want more?
yeah, just remake it. Thank you. I've fallen victim to that thought process before, where like you think the word ignorant means like it's a bad thing. Do you know what I mean? And people use it like that. You know, people use it like, you know, oh, he's such an ignorant person. But all it means is you don't know something. All it means is you're unaware. It has no like negative connotation to it, really. Like, it's just like, you can be shamed for your ignorance, and people do that all the time. Like, you know, you fucking, oh, you're ignorant, and therefore, like, honestly, I think that's a form of gaslighting. Like, the more I think about it, I'm like, well, who typically does that? I mean, typically you'd have a lot of like churchian types being like, thou art ignorant, you know, like, to the truth. And it's like, sure, I might be ignorant to the truth and my behavior might be off, but like, my heart's in the right place. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, if you agree with the whole Christopher Gardner, like, frequency is location, like, I think the reason people group together is because of their vibe, their frequency. Do you know what I mean? And then when they group together, and then they're together for a while, the group typically, like, ebbs and flows, like a person does. It's like a meta person. An individual will get involved in something, get bored with it, you know, get really deeply involved in something, find out they don't actually like certain parts of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, people grow, people change their minds, people evolve. Like, do you know what I mean? Most people, anyway. You get people who are, like, dogmatic about things, but I think that's a form of brainwashing, like, where you're like, no, it has to be this way. It's like infinite potential, infinite knowing, all this fucking shit. I mean, like infinite growth. I mean, how could you get to a certain point in anything and be like, you know, like, don't get me wrong, traditions can be good, but if a tradition means that you can't expand upon something, you know, then all it is a false limitation, an arbitrary limitation. Can your woman get on camera, please? I'm glad an old female is the one asking that, because that is a weird thing to say. You want to see how pretty my significant other? Oh god, I can't even talk right now. Oh, you want to see how pretty my female is, Margie? I get that. You hear the voice and you're like, you want to know what she looks like, kind of thing. That's why I don't listen to podcasts. I don't listen to audio shit. Because I'd be like that. I'd be like, I want to know what this guy looks like. Because when you like, I believe physiognomy is fairly accurate. Like, I think you can see in somebody's face evidence of certain traits, you know, and that's like, there's a reason, like, you can see it in his eyes, like, those sayings and stuff like that. Like, even your posture, you know, like, anyone who knows their shit would take one look at me and be like, oh, you're very stressed and tired and tense, and you do a lot of sitting and all this stuff. Like, you know, like, I'm not saying I'm really good at it, but, like, I know enough to, like, look at someone and be like, you know, like, assess them in certain ways. Yes, my female is very pretty and has a very pretty voice. She'll be bringing me coffee in a few, so you'll get your chance to female goon over my missus. I think that's a hilarious term. I've only really come across this term recently, where I didn't know that was the thing, where gooning is, like, where typically males, are, like, looking at pretty females, or, like, attractive females, and just it's that behavior of, like, oh my god, she's so pretty, like, you know, kind of drooling, fawning over, or whatever, like. And one of these fucking members of the woke horde was, like, defending something to do with a video game coming out. There's a new installment of the Dragon Age franchise coming out, and they've fucking wokeified the fuck out of it, like, to frankly an insane degree. Like, the fact that it's even legal, what they're doing, is crazy. Like, they're putting terms like top surgery in the game and all, like, in order to give these woke gobshites a form of representation in the game, where they can pick if their character has scars from transgender surgery. And this is a game that takes place in a fantasy realm with magic. Like, it's not only is it blatant propaganda, but it's so retarded and such a form of disgusting virtue signaling. It's actually insane. Like, why would anyone in... Like, it'd be like a character in Lord of the Rings. It's a very similar type of franchise. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, dwarves, elves, magic. You get it. Why would if there was a transvestite character in an environment like that, why would they have scars from surgery? It makes no sense. Magic exists in that realm, in that universe, in that narrative. So if you were going to do something where it's like, oh, well, this boy used to be a boy and now it's a girl, it's like, anyone with an ounce of intellect would just be like, magic. They used magic to change themselves from male to female. There would be no scarring. There's no reason for any of that. It's utterly ludicrous and void of any rational thought whatsoever. Dragon Age Fail Hard should be the title of that game. Yeah. Instead of Dragon Age Fail Guard, Dragon Age Fail Hard. Yeah. Yeah, totally. It's fucking brilliant. And like the shit they pulled with the Game of the Year rankings, where Black Myth Wukong was getting like 90% win rate in the fucking thing and all, like, and then they rigged it. They rigged the Game of the Year thing so Black Myth wouldn't win, because it was gonna win. Margie wants to see how pretty you are, because you have a pretty voice.
What voice?
You have a pretty voice.
Just my voice?
Yeah, so she wants to see how pretty you are.
I'm not that pretty.
And I think it's okay, because we know Margie's an old lady and not some freak who wants to see my missus on the internet.
I'm not that pretty.
You have to go fix yourself now, do you?
I don't look good right now.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't. I look awful. Hello.
You're so cringe.
I know.
Did
Leave me alone.
Did you catch that, Margie, or were you even looking? Oh, did your painting show up? Let me know. Did you put chocolate in this or something?
Hi, Margie. No.
Oh, is that just like just dried coffee? Hi, yes, excellent. Are you satisfied? Are you satisfied with your painting, Goo? I hope you found the message in the stickers as a nice added bonus. Why are you trying to sing?
No.
Why are you trying to sing right now?
I was singing downstairs.
We're both in bits, and all I can.
Care.
Yeah, but you're like, you can sing, but all I could hear is. Oh!
It doesn't sound bad.
I sounded pretty bad a minute ago.
When?
When you were downstairs,
It didn't sound bad.
it sounded like a banshee.
It didn't.
Yes, it did.
It sounded spooky and haunting.
It sounded spooky and haunting, like a banshee. Did you literally just say
It
like?
can also sound beautiful.
Oh,
Haunting
fuck
can be
off.
Beautiful.
You sounded like a banshee. No, I didn't. It sounded spooky and haunting. What? You mean like a banshee?
No.
You fucking. Your girl maths didn't work there, did it?
It did work. It was lovely.
Oh fuck.
You're right, regardless of what you said.
Right. Well, I better get started on this goose. I've been here for an hour and 40 minutes and haven't painted anything.
What?
Are you? What's with the judgmental
That
face?
is despicable.
How many? I've done loads of streams where I just sit here and talk. The fact that I'm just sitting here speaking truth, looking like a hilarious Japanese demigod, is enough for some people.
You just have to give the people what they want.
I am the only one in the realm with a painting stream that people listen to.
Sorry guys, I'm gonna leave because I'm just choking the place up. Like,
Oh, will you roll me a cigarette?
no, you do not need cigarettes.
I need a cigarette right now. My lungs are telling me I need a cigarette.
Well, your lungs are telling you quite the opposite.
Oh god. Right. Oh. I get some tunes on. Yes, it came just a little after you.
About my appearance.
Oh, you texted me on Instagram, did you? Okay. Well, my phone's in there charging. I don't have my phone right now. What did you say, my love? that well? It says shake well. Did I shake it well? Get ASMR painting goo. Can you hear it? Can you hear the goo throwing? No, on here I texted. Oh yeah, you mean like yeah, fair enough, yeah. Oh fuck. Are you satisfied? Yes, yes it came, yes. That's all I care about is customer satisfaction. When somebody buys a painting goo, I want you to be happy that you bought a painting goo. Oh, somebody has a paid for painting goo. Glorious. Some grabber for your barber, worst ear. The goo must throw. Indeed. Much appreciated, Desmondo. Some grabber for your barber. Right. I will cleanse the chi. Cleansing vibrations. Cleansing chi. Oh, God. Oh, forgive me. Right. I know Mondays have been metal for a while, but I don't think Gary Goose is metal. Gary Goose is slick, cool, funky. Oh God! Ugh. Right. Let's get these bitches wet. And get the goo throwing. Painting goo, goo, goo. Gary likes disco. Yeah. Gary likes that fucking that German like underground industrial techno shit. Like, ja, ist gut, ja, sehr gut. Is that what Gary is? Gary's Gary the German goose. Thank you. What, you want to kiss? No? What do you mean you don't want to kiss? What do you mean? Kiss me, you fool! Paint, paint! I found the female's kryptonite.
Like, even when I'm sick, I never do that.
Well, maybe that's why you get so sick.
Oh, stop, you're not meant to do that. Oh, damn it. Oh, gross.
That is a totally normal thing to do.
No, sick.
Oh, God. Oh, the bitch was stiff and dry today. Not you, the. Painting goo, goo, goo. Right. I can't hear what you're saying. Oh, okay. Some healing classical, perhaps? The synth makes me feel better. Makes me feel like I'm back in my mother's womb.
Thanks, Margie, as well. I hope we get better soon, too. I'm sick of being sick.
Yeah, well, it's all your fault, so
Well, look.
just take accountability.
Sometimes experiences have to be had.
Sometimes experiences have to be had. Painting goo goo.
Friend FOMO wouldn't have lasted as long as this.
What?
FOMO wouldn't have lasted as long as this.
Painting goo 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 goo. Au revoir, mon ami. Auf Wiedersehen, meine Lieben. Ah, Dick Foto. Welcome. Du Paintingu. Painting goo goo. Painting goo. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Painting goo goo. Do 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 do. Painting goo goo. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Oh, glorious. Ugh. Indeed, the little mister. Painting goo goo. Trying to figure out the angle on this now. Yeah. Paint goo, painting goo goo goo.
Painting goo 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 goo. Do 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 do. Painting goo 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 do 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 do. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo goo. Goo 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 goo. Doo 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 doo. Doo doo doo. Went on an epic Call of Duty campaign with my son. The boy is deadly. Awesome. That's awesome. Painting goo goo. Painting goo 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 goo. Oh, gross.
Make some grey.
Painting. Okay. Painting goo 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 goo. Doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo-doo. Painting goo 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 goo. My favorite part. Painting goo 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 goo. Painting goo doo 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 doo.
Painting Goo 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 Goo. Speaking of cuddle, check out Gran Tom's latest video for classic COD nostalgia as he fires the Chetak intervention. The intervention sniper rifle from Modern Warfare 2. Everybody was fucking using it. It made sense. I mean, it was a very good sniper rifle. I've always liked the Car 98K or the Goose. I like the German weapons. Don't get me wrong. I mean the M1 Garand, great American gun. Springfield, great American gun. Painting Goo Goo. Can you see him? As he slowly but surely forms before your very eye holes. Gary the Goose. The tactical turtleneck wearing Goose. Glorious. Painting Goo Goo Goo. Painting Goo Goo Goo. Keep it wet. Painting Goo Goo. Painting Goo 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 Goo. Did you sneeze? Did you sneeze? What the fuck did I hear then? Oh, I thought I heard somebody sneeze. I thought I heard.
I am a human person.
You're a human person.
Yeah.
I thought I heard someone sneeze, and you said you didn't sneeze. So I don't know. Like, don't know what you want from me, female. What?
Don't call me a thing.
I didn't call you a thing. I said I heard something sneeze or someone or whatever. I'm not calling you. You said you didn't sneeze though, so how am I calling? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, well, yeah, there's your girl mats again.
No, don't you girl mats me.
You girl mats me all the fucking time.
I'm a girl.
Who can't do maths? What? You're not allowed to speak of these things, like how fucking retarded it can be. Who? Dick Fordu. Thanks, Dick.
Yeah.
Hmm? What? I'm pretty sure that's Whip Bear. I always get confused with how many names everybody has.
Thanks for the birthday wishes, guys. I'm getting old now. It's sad.
She's been a depressing mess the last while. Oh, I'm 30. I'm old now. Oh.
Supposed to be 20 still.
Pathetic.
It's okay. 30s are the new 20s.
Well, in a lot of ways they are actually.
Yeah, they
For all sorts of reasons. Okay, well, I'm going to sip my coffee and have my cigarette, and I'm going to turn the mic off, and I am going to blow dry Gary. Right. Goose is dry. Look at that! In a matter of minutes, I have produced Gary the Goose, tactical, turtle-wearing Gary the Goose. Obviously, he's not complete, but methinks this is very good for like a splashing of 15 minutes. Painting Goo Goo. We should now do the background. Hey, glad to know wish you is human. Indeed. My female is in fact human. After my abrupt dissension against my will from Chinese heaven, it was only fitting for me to find a female. Painting Goo Goo. Goo 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 Goo. I think I can hear the female faintly saying something. You talking to me? What are you saying? Although what? You're fucking arrogant, more like. Fucking. Although I am very goddess-like. Are you now? Alright, fucking. What? That's why what? That's why I chose you? It's because you're part goddess? I suppose we could weave that into the narrative, you know, like, I suppose. To satiate your vanity.
Oh, fuck off! Says you!
Ugh. Oh shit, now I want a cigarette. Sorry for the French language. Indeed! You should be sorry. French is a disgusting language. It's not actually, I think. When we went to France, I was actually like, oh, la la la, ooh la la. I'm actually pretty good at French. Excusez-moi, pardon. Deux burgers, s'il vous plaît. Oh, that's hilarious. I can like faintly hear you talking in the background. I got lucky with my French. Fuck off. You lying bitch. You were like, oh, you're actually pretty good at this. Like, fuck off. Lying bitch. No worries, Margie. The French have had their influence everywhere by now. I know I was married to one. You were married to a Frenchman. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh. Those sneaky cheese-eating surrender monkeys. Those sneaky cheese-eating surrender monkeys. Oh. I wonder what time of day it was when the tanks showed up in France. And they were just like, ooh la la! Les Nazis! Here, you can have it. Oh, we getting frame rate losses? There we go. What? Actually, it's not. I've fixed it. It was because of the lighting. It had nothing to do with the French. You fucking racist bitch. Right. Oh, God. Okie dokie. I love this cover. Aqua green. It's glorious. I think it just goes really nicely over the burnt sienna underpainting. It complements it well. Just a little squirt, just a little one to get the goo flowing. Painting goo goo. Goo 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 goose. Goo 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 goose. Gary Goose. Painting goo goo. Painting a goose. Painting goo goose. Gary Goose. What the fuck is Tuekaru? He's missing Gary the Goose. Tuekaru's ancestors shall look upon him with great shame. This goose needs some Armani aftershave. I'll give you €100 if you find a way to paint on the Armani smell. You know, that was actually something that I wanted to do with my symmetrical paintings. Was put a perfume to them so that when people opened the thing, there was like a smell, and I was like, I thought it'd be cool if you could get like different scents for different colors and stuff. I thought that'd be a cool like bonus. But then, like, you know, when you frame the thing, it's like you wouldn't be able to smell it anymore. Like, it'd kind of just be a nostalgia yoke. But I've definitely thought about stuff like that before, where I've like I've pondered the possible combination of perfumed paints to increase the Paintingu experience.
Paintingu. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Paintingu. Goo-goo-goo-goo. Painting a goo 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 doo 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 doo. Painting a goose, Gary Goose. Doo 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 doo. Goo 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 goo. Goose, goo, goose. A goo goose? A goose made of goo. Doo 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 doo. Right. I'm gonna kill the mic. Blow dry this goose again. Painting. Oh, glorious! You know it's a healthy relationship when you can curse them at will. Don't worry, he will announce his return before you realize he left. What, 2 acre? 2 acres out chasing donk squatch? Do I even want to know? Or wrangling basezilla? I wonder what a Xenoboon would smell like. Something between like rancid garbage and a wet dog. I'd want the Xenoboon to have such a repellent scent that it's like lethal to like birds. Like you could like the only way to know if there's a Xenoboon in your close proximity is if you have a fucking canary in a cage. Silent Hill style. If the bird starts losing its shit, prepare yourself. I've never smelled a smell that's similar to Mickey. Oh, Jesus. Remember what we were talking about earlier, Emmanuel, where it's like too much, too honest? Just... That's
That's foul. It's true, but it's foul. It is indeed a unique scent. Oh, Jesus. Emmanuel, you're gonna have to start super chatting me for how disgusting you've been. Like, if one of your chats makes me recoil in horror, you have to pay for painting. Even if it's only €1. It's like your degenerate tax. Like, oh my god, imagine if they actually started taxing degeneracy. Anyway, excuse me while I blow dry this goose. The goose is dry. I can't super chat, it isn't there. Oh yeah, I always forget that I haven't actually got the super chat thing set up. We call it super chatting, but it's like there's a link in the description that goes directly to my PayPal. And you can just like throw me a few quid or something like. That's how the others throw me money. There's like $5 here, $10 there, whatever. Like, you just click the link in the description and it goes straight into my PayPal. I don't. Yeah, you can't. I don't think you can actually click on the thing that says super chat on YouTube. I don't think I've set that up. Was I allowed to set that up? I vaguely remember something about you don't have enough members to set up like that kind of payment process or shit. Like, I think there's limits to stuff like that on TikTok and YouTube and shit, where like you need a certain amount of followers to like qualify for like certain things now. Like, alcohol and cigarette tax could be considered a degeneracy tax. That's kind of true. They call it a luxury tax, of course. Like, yeah, I get where you're coming from. It's kind of, but like, I don't see smoking and drinking as like a sin. I see I think the excess, the habitual excess or addiction to substances is what's a sin. That's why I've said before. It's like, what you should strive towards is discipline. You know? Because, like, if you're the type of person who can smoke when they want to smoke as a luxury or a celebration of something, then I don't think that's a sin to occasionally indulge, you know? Because of the whole, like, everything in moderation, including moderation, because moderation is included in everything, you know? So sometimes, occasionally, it is okay to indulge in an excess of something, but only temporarily, you know? Yeah, like, I think being addicted to a substance is a problem. And I say that currently being addicted to nicotine, you know? I don't know if I'm addicted to caffeine. I don't seem to get any withdrawals from caffeine. He's totally getting an earful right now. I wasn't. She was distracting me. It's like she's taking photos for her mother of some stuff she bought off of Shein. So she's just like getting changed like right there and all. I'm just like, oh, it's so funny. Like, Demon Hunter Bear and I were talking about this, where it's a very similar situation where like you could be like talking to a friend or on the phone or like doing something, and your missus just walks past you in her underwear or something, like, and you're just like you really do need a disciplined mind, like it makes sense because it's the woman you love, you know, as well, like, but it's so distracting sometimes. It's just like this, like remember the little red ball that used to dance on the words in Disney movies? Speak of the devil and she shall appear. Like, you are so fucking lucky they can't see any of that. You would be mortified if you got caught on camera, like, you cheeky bitch. Goose with attitude. He does, like, he does look a bit attitudey, doesn't he? You will be well rewarded in November when I get paid. Ah, I will hold you to that. I will hold you to that, sir. Ugh. I'm gonna write down. I'll have to remind myself that every Thursday now is Psycho Kitty Day until the Psycho Kitty is complete. Ugh. So every Monday from now on is going to be. It'll probably take me like another 2 Mondays to do Gary the Goose. And then it'll probably take me 3 or 4 Mondays, or 3 or 4 Thursdays to do Psycho Kitty. So that gives you plenty of time to arrange payment. Emmanuel Godsonu. I haven't had a cigar in years. I'm gonna get some now. I think I've had a cigar twice, and Meh. I'm not. I don't really see the appeal. Good distractions are always nice. Indeed. Indeed they are. Oh. Right. Okay. We'll do a bit more work on this before we wrap things up. But we've made excellent progress on Gary the Goose this fine Monday. Do-do-do-do. 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 Okay. Is that the end of it now? Yes, that's the end of it now. Right, time for the second round of tunes. I don't know why that one always goes, like, it doesn't start from the beginning and the other one does. It's annoying. It vexes me. I am vexed. I've been debating lately to should I trim the top knot, or should it be trimmed, or should it flop? I don't know. Part of me wants to trim it so it looks like that fucking thing from Looney Tunes again. But I don't want to cut my hair. Paintingu. Right. Paintingu. Oh, somebody has a paid for Paintingu. Marju has set up a monthly tip. Interesting. Have you pledged yourself to Paintingu, Marju? Most curious. Your patronage to Paintingu is most appreciated, Sister Marju.
Painting goo goo goo.
Ah, he is a beautifer. Retted frop. Do Rekastabaru and do a fur resetu. I haven't done that in a long time. I probably would look really funny with a buzz cut and a big beard. Take it or offu. Defenderu skinhead arc. Yeah, that'd be hilarious. Why didn't my name change color? Oh, your name only. Are you asking why your name isn't blue with a wrench? Because I have to make you a mod for that to happen, and like that's not happening. No offense. The reason they're blue and they have a wrench is because they're mods, so they can help me keep the chat free of vagrants, degenerates, fags. Did you think your name was going to change with the... I don't even know what you did, Margie, with the monthly tip thing. Nobody's done that yet. So like, if you want to cancel that because you don't know what you've done or something, feel free. Like, you know, I really appreciate the money, obviously. But if you've done something like if you've done something like a direct debit now, where like every month you're gonna pay me £4, and that wasn't your intention, like, you know, don't feel bad. Like, cancel it. It's fine. Like, Ah! Somebody has a paid for painting goo. I swear to God, I was making sure it wasn't Margie doing something by accident. I say, please tell me the old lady isn't accidentally spending money on me. Oh God. Ah, Stabaru-sama. Retu gu fro. Furbuzz and Birdu Ofu. Das ist best. Oh God, no. It's been a wrong time since I went clean shaven. Oh Jesus. People would flee before me if they saw me clean shaven. The female doesn't like it when I'm clean shaven. It's hilarious. I did with someone else and my name is Green. I honestly don't know. I'm assuming they probably have it set up on their channel that when somebody does a monthly thing, their name changes. It's like a membership thing. I haven't set up any stuff like that on YouTube yet, but maybe now I should. You know, the last few weeks with randomers like Emmanuel and Margie coming in, perhaps it is time to make the Painting Goo YouTube channel a bit more professional. Painting Goo Goo. Right. Oh, excuse me. Painting goo 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 goo. Do 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 do. Painting goo 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 goo. Oh, gross! Do 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 do. Painting goo goo goo. Painting goo goo goo. hister is a bit off. Do 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 do. Painting goo 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 goo. The hand is good. Pistol needs to be repositioned. But regardless, we have made excellent progress today on Gary Goose. And Tuakaru has a misty door! Shame! Right. Okay, my beloved Japanites and all you other filthy mortals. This concludes today's PEINTEINGU! I hope you have enjoyed Ingu. I know I did. Look at him. He's glorious. Gary the Goose. Another wondrous creation from the PEINTEINGU streamer. Ah. Indeed, Marju appears to be a legend. I wanted to help a little. Ah! Well, your little help is a much appreciated, Marju. Je suis non-randomer, s'il vous plaît. I'm a well-established and well-loved follower. It's been 3 weeks now. Emmanuel Gatsunu, your humoru is very good. I'm on disability, so little won't hurt much. I think Emmanuel's in the same boat. Right, my beloved Japanites and all you other fairy mortals. Yes, this is the end of this Monday's episode. So, tomorrow, we shall return to... What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Tuesday. So, tomorrow, we return to Australia to finish Australian quail waffle? Yes, Australian quail waffle is to be finished tomorrow. And it's nearly finished. There's not much else to do there. So tomorrow, we return to Australia. In the meantime, I bid you farewell. Be good, be true, and be beautiful. And I shall see you soon. And remember, to pay for PEINTEINGU, many links in description. Saya fucking Nara. Yes, much rest. Much rest, yes. Domo. Domo, my beloved Japanites. And some of you other fairy mortals. And I shall see you soon.